Lockdown is recent enough for us to remember exactly how it felt. Isolating, boring, claustrophobic and often frightening. But for people who are shielding, lockdown isn't over. It's been 2 years now for Brian. He has to shield because he's on immunosuppressants after a kidney transplant. And his wife Natalie has to shield too because she can't put him at risk. So how does it feel?
It feels like you've entered into a room and everybody's shut the doors. And the rest of the world begins to go back into action. But inside that room, there's just you and whoever, in my case, my wife. It's both frightening and disturbing because you can't see an obvious end to it.
While the easing of restrictions has brought freedom, it has meant the opposite for those who are vulnerable. Izzy's 23 and has cystic fibrosis. Her friends are now able to go to festivals and parties, but Izzy has to stay home.
I have a shortened life expectancy anyway, and so spending this amount of time isolating and shielding is really, really difficult because these might be the years that I'm most physically able to do things and I'm not being able to. I wish there was just more understanding and that we could still talk about COVID and not try and hide away from it because, you know, it still is a problem.
Mark has a lung condition called pulmonary sarcoidosis and has been isolating for 820 days or 28 months. He's even had to isolate from his wife and children.
We've got a small summer house in the garden. I've spent in total about 7 months living up there, away from the family. It's got a small put-you-up bed and a toilet in it. It's reasonably comfortable, but in the middle of winter, it's not the best place to be. It's no substitute for being with the family.
We've all been told we need to learn to live with COVID, but that's a much bigger ask if just leaving your home puts you in danger. So what does Brian most miss?
Sat with my wife, my gorgeous lady, in a restaurant, having a nice meal with a nice bottle of wine and chatting about the future as well as the present.
Doesn't seem like too much to ask for, does it? For now, though, it's a question of focusing on what he can do while not giving up on that simple dream of a meal out. Ruth Liptrot, 5 News.